favourite episodes kind of came back to back, which was the musical episode and then Tabula Rasa, where everyone forgets their memories. They're obviously, quite out of the norm for the episode. So can you tell us a bit about what you thought when you first heard about the idea, actually shooting it, how it turned out?
Yeah. I and most of the cast, when the musical got started, all thought the same thing. We thought that Joss Whedon had gone crazy. Because he sent, usually they'll drop off a script to let you know what's happening in the next episode. But in this one time, they didn't drop off a script. It was a cassette tape, which was before MP3 files. So it's just a musical cassette. And I was like, I have no idea what this is. And I put it in, and it was Joss and his wife singing the songs. And we all know now that they're really well written, but it didn't sound that way at the time. Joss he's not that great of a singer. His wife is a wonderful person, but not that great. And it really was horrible. And I was kind of confused. I took the cassette out, and I was looking at it, and I opened my door, and I saw everyone else had done the same thing. They were all coming out and blinking in the sunshine going... and we went to Josh like, what the fuck is this? And he said, well, that's the next episode. We're doing a musical. And we're like, what the fuck? And we all tried to talk him out of it. We really thought that the pressure had gotten to him. Or that his ego had gone crazy. And we really thought that he was destroying the show, and he was going to burn all of our careers along with his in this episode. And which, nobody was doing, you don't do that. You don't do a musical episode. It was such a risk that until you see it, and you see it's really good, you think, we weren't stupid for thinking that this was probably not going to work. And the other thing is that the only people that were professionally singing in the cast at the time were me and Tony Head. Everyone else had no experience whatsoever singing and getting paid for it. It's one thing to be at a party or in the shower and someone tells you you have a nice voice. It's another thing for someone to lay money out for something that you do. It's a whole different level. And so a lot of the actors were saying to Joss, and they had a really good point, I got hired as a dramatic, comedic actor for you. That's what I do. That's why I got a job. Now you're asking me to sing. Why don't you ask me to juggle a chainsaw? I would prefer to do that. It would be better for my career if I cut my hand off than if I... Seriously, And so, and he was just like, nope, I'm gonna make you do it, haha. And we're all like, well, why don't you do it? Why don't you take a role, and why don't you do it in front of everybody and be a fool? And he was like, no, I'll be directing that. And so, one of the reasons that is my favorite episode is that at some point, we all realized that we couldn't talk Joss out of this. That he really was not going to be talked out of it. And we stopped whining, and we stopped complaining, and we stopped fearing, and we got to work. And everyone started hiring vocal coaches and dance coaches on their own dime. And this is in the two episodes previous to the start of the filming. And everyone started rehearsing, and we got to work. And in the face of sheer doom, certain defeat, we tried our best. We said, if we're going to go out, we're going to go out swinging. And I've never been more proud of us than those moments when we knew we would fail and we weren't going to give up anyway. And then, Joss, we were filming, and he wheels out a little television set onto the soundstage, and he had the first thing that he filmed was the dance with Anya and Xander.
Yeah.
That thing. And he cut it together in a rough cut, and he wanted to show us that it wasn't going to suck. And he said, here's the first scene, and it was glorious. It was so good. And we all were like, this is going to be great. And so it flipped, and all of a sudden we were working on something that was going to work, but I was more proud of us when we were sure that we were going to fail, and we were still trying. And we had so much fun by the end of it that when Tabula Rasa, I still can't say that. Tabula Rasa. So hard. When we were doing that, we didn't realize that it was probably one of the best shows in the whole run. One of the most imaginative, because there's no music. We were like, this is boring. Where's the music? Where's Hilton Battle, man? let's do a musical again. And we thought it was boring, and it wasn't until the very end of the shoot that we started saying, wait a minute, this is actually a really good script. Yeah, but that, 2 back-to-back, I agree, just fabulous.
Thank you.
You're welcome.